Come on, turn on. There we go. Hello, everybody. Oh, welcome to Rick's Tech Pub on a Friday, the 24th of October. We are getting closer and closer to Halloween. It's not one of my favorite things to play around with, but it is coming up, so I know what you guys are doing for Halloween, but for me, for about the 10th year in a row, I'm gonna sit here and let the world roll by me. So, hello, everybody. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Ski Man. Good to see you here again. Oh, let us see. Let's see. Let's go to the top. Did Ken make number first? Did he get in first? No, Darren beat him. Darren came in first, but he says he's number 3. Okay. Oh. Charlie asks, hello, Rick, how are you? I don't know. Kind of taking the day off, kind of being lazy. Had nothing to do. I've called Bob and the other guys. I said, you guys take over for today. I'm going to take off today. This weekend, I'm just going to sit around and do nothing. I'm going to do anything for anybody. We'll try that for the weekend and see how it goes. It'll probably end horribly. Because people don't like me taking the day off. When I take the day off, everything goes up on its head. But I don't know what I've got to do with that, but it's just the way the world works in this area, that I disappear off the map and everything just goes. So, I've got nothing to talk about today. I'm not going to talk about the world technical stuff today. Like I said, I'm taking a couple days off of that. And the song I just got done listening to before I came in here was Bob Seger, Still the Same. I can sing that word for word. I can sing that song word for word and not miss one. But I've been singing it since that song came out, so it's no wonder I can do that. And then Fleetwood Mac, 7 Wonders. That's another one I can sing by heart. Been also singing that song since the day it came out. All the Fleetwood Mac songs I can sing without missing a beat. Been listening to all of them since the day they came out, so with the bass cranked up, kind of turn it up kind of loud, because there is no more HRA staff here. They all got laid off, and the government bullshit, I guess they had to walk out the door. So there's no one here babysitting the building anymore, so I turned up the bass, and I'm sure the people on the 11th floor are a little pissed off at me, because whenever they hear their floors and walls shaking like that, they know it's me doing it. So far, no one's knocking on my door, so it's Friday. I don't think they'll mind. I don't do it for that long. I only go for maybe 40 minutes. Then I cut it, I kill it. No more until later on next week. Funny things going on outside. Oh, it looks nice outside, and again, it looks nice, but yeah, it's only in the 40s. And it's hotter than hell in this apartment. I don't know why that is. Yeah, it's almost 78 degrees in here, guys. I might have to open a window, because I am getting a little warm. And if a train shows up or something, I'll shut the window, but I gotta get cool air in here. I'm hot. And of course, they got the heat blasting out like hell out in the hallway, so it feels like 105 out in the hallway. All that heat's getting pumped into the apartments underneath their doors and in the bathroom vent. So the temperature out here for the last couple of hours has steadily been going up. It'll hit 87 degrees here before the day is over. So it's a little warm. Oh, who is my favorite band? Oh my god, that's a difficult question. Who is my favorite band? Charlie, you asked me a tough question. I don't know if I can answer that. There's so many of them. It's such a wide variety. But I guess I'd have to start off with Fleetwood Mac. Bob Seger. He's another one. I like Bob Seger. I can sing quite a few of his songs, without missing a word. Oh, there are so many of them. So many of them. But that's just two to start off with. I don't go back that far. I don't do with the Beatles. I never heard of them in my life. That's going before my days. Roy Orbison is about maybe the farthest back I'll go on that. And even him, I don't listen to it. It's before my days. So I kind of stick to the 80s and up. Maybe a little bit of the 70s, but mostly from 1980 to 1989. That's real music. If you go back and listen to, like I said, Fleetwood Mac, Bob Seger, everybody from the 1980s, that to me is music. What they're playing today is, I mean, it's good, but it's just not the same. It's not, doesn't have the same tone, same rhythm. Those are not songs you can dance to like I used to when I was listening to Bob Seger, Fleetwood Mac, and a bunch of them. I like Pink Floyd. Oh, Chris Garrett snuck in, did he? Yes, he did. Hello, Chris. Didn't see you sneak in there. But I'm not paying attention to the chat like I should be. I am horrible at that, I say. That's one thing I'll admit. It's not something I pay attention to. Chris, if your parents grew up on that and they listened to it, yeah, you would. But I don't know. I kind of skipped the 70s, 60s, and 70s. I didn't really like it until about, well, the Eagles came out in 70. Hotel California came out with that in 77 or something like that. So I do listen to the late 70s, but nothing of the 60s. Nothing. I won't even bother. Late 70s, all of the 90s, all of the 80s. Yeah, even today there's some rock bands out there that I do like, but Nickelback for one. But then I end up listening to that and I revert back to 1980s. It's what I grew up on. Every single day from 1980 till 1987, 88. It's what I listen to every day. When the 1990s hit, the music era changed to the way I just, it wasn't the same to me. Didn't have that same tone, didn't have the same whatever. I couldn't get into it. So they were listening to the 90s and I'm sitting there listening to 1986 and like, why are you listening to that old crap? Because it's what I grew up on. It's what I remember. The stuff of today, not really. No, thank you. Now, the kids of today, including Jackie, she listens to all this new kids hip hop music that makes no sense to me. I listen to the music she listens to, and that I told her that shit makes no sense to me. That's not music to me. I think I offended her because her daughter listens to it. And I said, "What the hell are you listening to?" "Oh, my daughter listens to this." I know, but what is it? She looked up at me and says, "What do you mean? What is it?" So I grabbed her phone. I typed in Bob, Segar, and I played a song that's still the same. I said, that is what I'm talking about. That, to me, is music. What you're listening to, throw it in the garbage. She kind of got a little pissed. She didn't like, well, I guess she's a different era of mine. I guess, well, she's got 2 younger kids, so they're 11 and 12 years old, so they're listening to music they grew up on, and what they grew up on is 2002, 2003. Not my cup of tea. No. Nope, I'd rather skip it. Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah, I like the Eagles. The reason I'm so interested in Fleetwood Mac is because of all the trials and tribulations that band had. They had their ups, their downs. I mean, they had more downs than ups. And it's no wonder. It's no wonder to me that they broke up the way they did. It's just Stevie and Christine McVie, who sadly has passed away. It was Heartbreak City. It was Heartbreak City with those people. Stevie was singing songs about the drummer, who I believe she was married to. They broke up, and then Christine McVie was dating one of the other. It's just, I don't know. All their songs are good, but they had meaning to each other. It was crazy how it worked. I listened to an interview on YouTube the other night about Christine McVie and Stevie Nicks, the drummer, their guitarist. Boy, they had it rough back then. Oh, I'm surprised they made it as far as they did. Yeah, like I said, that's what Jackie listens to, and I just I had Brett laughing last time I talked to her about that. He's kind of rolled his eyes up and he started laughing. He says, Jackie kind of got a little irritated. She walked away for a couple minutes and he was chuckling. He says, I don't understand that crap either. He'd rather listen, well, he's late 80s, 90s. He's not early or 70s like I am, but he'll listen to the 90s, a little of the 2000s music, but he listens to what I listen to, and he said, I like what you listen to than what Jackie and the kids were listening to. And I said that's because what I grew up on was actually music. It's not this garbage that they're playing today. And I don't mean to insult anybody that likes that kind of music today. It's just, it's not for me. I just, I can't get into it. But what I can get into is, like I said for the 15th time now, the 80s music. 70s and 80s, late 70s and 80s. 60s, not really. I've heard some of the 60s music and I ended up walking away from it or turning it off. I just, not interested. Not my thing. Oh, still a little bit of New York. Yeah, I wish I could have seen Fleetwood Mac in concert. But I didn't. I would have loved to. Never got the chance. My parents just didn't have that kind of money to come up with hundreds of dollars to go to a rock concert in the cities and drive all the way down there. Because where we lived up in Pine River, which is north of here, to get down to Minneapolis, St. 12 was a 3.5 hour drive. My parents said, we ain't driving you all the way down there. So, yes, you can go to a rock concert. No, it ain't happening. So I never did, unfortunately. My parents are just too chicken shit of driving 3.5 hours. I shouldn't say that. It's not nice, but I wish I could have. At a younger age, I don't think being around hundreds of thousands of people like that would have bothered me. I do it today, I'll have a nervous breakdown. I can't do it. Just, I can be around people, but not thousands like that. I'll fall apart. Mentally, physically, everything. I just can't. I can't be surrounded by thousands of people. It's just not. No. No. You would have to have me on some heavy medication for me to stay stable enough to just sit there long enough to listen to it. I'd physically fall apart being around that many people. And people have tested me on it. They brought me to the stadium here in Brainerd. Like, there was like 2,000 people there. I think about 15 minutes later, I walked out. I couldn't do it. There's too many people. Too much noise. Too much of everything, and when there's too much of everything like that, I mentally can't handle it, and about 15, 20 minutes later, I walked out. I kind of figured I would. And so you just stay there as long as you can. We'd like you to stay there for 3 hours, but I knew I wasn't going to. I knew I wasn't going to make it. And about 20 minutes later, I did. I got up and walked out. I just couldn't do it. Hello, all right, Robert. Oh, scheming. Your dad was in radio? Radio station sound engineer. We listen to a lot of different music. Yeah, rock country I can get into. I can get in today's country, but I can't get into that boo-hoo 70s and 80s country music. That's just no. Today's music, yeah, I can get into it. Today's country rock, I can listen to it, but the 80s country, no. No. That's too depressing. A tear in my beer because I'm crying for you, dear. No. No. I won't listen to that garbage. And to me, I just don't, it's just me. I don't like it. I know everybody else does, but I couldn't get into it. I tried for many years listening to that sad old country music. I couldn't. I ended up turning the station. Then people get mad at me, say, hey, turn that back. It's like, well, then if you're listening to this, I'm walking out. I couldn't listen to it. Country music is really not my... But today's country rock music, yeah, I'll listen to it, but not the older, sad, tear in your beer music. I won't listen to that garbage. Oh, hell no, I wouldn't want to be in the same room with those two. One of them wouldn't... I won't go any further with that. I'll keep my comments to myself. But it would not be a good situation. Because I'd walk out of the room, they wouldn't. They would irritate me to the... Anyhow. I struggle with being 2 states away with both. Yeah, Ken, you... Well, Ken, you kind of stuck your foot out there. You invited them into your life. Now you're kind of stuck with them. I didn't. I kind of prefer them to stay away from me. They're not my cup of tea. And I'm not saying that because of their handicaps or whatever. I'm not discriminative against that. It's just... It's their thoughts, the things they believe in, things they do, and... Yeah. I'll talk to them, but... Yeah, out of either one of those two, who would I want to go see? I guess I'd go see both of them for a couple of seconds. Enough to say hi, bye, see you later. Nah, I don't know. Hang out with them all day, I don't think I can handle that. Although Alex seems to have a little bit more of a calmer demeanor. He's a little bit more calmer, but he is just so in his life that I don't know. I wouldn't get him to change. He's stuck in his ways, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like people that are flexible, that'll bend instead of being so rigid. And Alex, I think, is a little bit rigid. He's a little bit tough. He won't change for anybody. So, go with the flow, I guess. But if you were to stick me in the room with those two, I don't know, chicken feathers might fly. Might. Willie Whalen and the boys. Oh, Willie Whalen and the boys. Whalen. Name sounds familiar. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with it enough to. I know Willie Nelson, but Whalen. Yeah. Some of the stations around here need a good sound engineer. Yeah, the radio stations around here they're all automatic. They're all just animated. And you go up there and you go to the studio and there's nobody there. It's all pre-recorded crap. All the advertisements, all the songs, all pre-recorded from the day before. They just set it on play and they let it go. They've got an engineer around there, so if something screws up, they could just hit the stop button, start over, and hit play again, and it'll continue. And that's happened quite a few times. WJJY, I believe they still do have a live DJ in there, but I think that's only in the morning and early afternoon. Late afternoon and evening and night, it's all automated. There's nobody there. Except the engineers. People that'll sit there and wait for something to go wrong. But I think in the morning and early afternoons, there is an actual DJ in the station. But in the evenings and nights, nobody. And I've been there in the evenings. I know a few guys that work at like KLZ, WJJY, 98.1 country station. It's all in one big building. Although all 4 radio stations are all in one big building. And the studios for the people that run the radio stations, they sit in a square box. It's just it's like a telephone booth. That's all it is. The telephone booth, and they just close the door side and the wall, sit right next to it. They're almost rubbing up outer door. And they just sit there and just hit buttons for the next ad or the next song. They don't need that big of a studio nowadays because everything's automated. Everything's done for them. They just hit the button for the next thing to go on. But I'd get so claustrophobic. It's KLZ. And they've got a really, 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 really tiny studio where the DJ just sits in there, just hits his small little buttons and does whatever. But the door to go out of that little cube that he's in he's rubbing his shoulder up against the door. So it's. I looked at the guy, I said, or Danny, the one that brought me up there, I said, how can they sit in that small? They do. It's a small little area, but there's really, in that whole area, there's not enough to have a full-size studio. The whole, as wide as my desk. They used to be that way in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They used to have big, full studio, big, huge rooms where the radio station was, and now they've combined them down to really small little cubes that the guys, whoever sits in there. I wouldn't be able to do that. Would not want to do that. Yeah, I agree, Chris. They're not bad, but I don't know. I don't know how long it would take before they get on my nerves. I don't think it would take long. I don't think they'd try to. It's just the way they are. That's more of me than them. I'd let them bother me more than they should, more than I should. Those people like them, they're always right and never wrong, and I can't twist my mind around people like that. I know a few people around here. There are people in my building that they all say they're right and you're wrong. They're always right and I'm always wrong. Like, no, that's not how it works. You're thinking you're always right, but half the time with those people, they're wrong. When people like that are always saying they're always right and I'm always wrong, like, I don't think so. Those 2 or 3 people in this building, I just don't talk to them. We just pass each other, don't say a damn word. They'll tell me, they say, we'll talk to you when you admit that they're right and I'm always wrong. I said, that'll never happen. I'm done talking to you. It's like, see ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But on to different subjects. Let's not depress ourselves with that. I went to lunch today, as I always do. And I picked out something new at Holiday. And it's a Guy Fieri's. You know the Guy Fieri, however you say his name, the guy that drives a red car. And it's his signature with a Flavor Town. I went to Holiday and I got a flavored Poblin chicken. It's a chicken flavor roll. And I'd say 1 to 5 on 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I'd have to probably give it a 5. It kind of tastes like chicken, but I don't know. It really isn't. I think they give you the taste of chicken, but it's more of the mushy, mushed up chicken stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, I give it a 5. And would I have it again if I were to go there tomorrow? Probably not. I'd probably just look at it and say, yeah, I tried it. I don't want it. It tastes all right, but I don't know. It's like their burgers that they have there. You know, they're all ready for a quick. They're okay for a quick snack, but they're nothing that I'd say they're any good. But that's the closest place to me to getting anything to eat, and I had to go to the drugstore anyhow. And I said, well, being that I'm here, I might as well hop across the street and down the road a ways. And I think tomorrow I'm going to go to Mickey's and get myself, take a break from Holiday. I usually do Holiday when I'm running around in the summer. And I'm running from one end of town to the other, and I want to take a break. I'll stop in at Holiday. It's the quickest and easiest thing for me to do because it's between home and downtown. I mean, Holiday is right smack in the middle. Home's that way and downtown's that way, so I'll just stop at Holiday and get something to eat. Uh-oh. It's clouding up again. I have a feeling we might get rain later. Speaking of ghetto, say the guy's name and he shows up. People call from around the world. They have text line and phone lines, not call waiting. You have to go. Yeah. We need a good family restaurant here. Yeah, See, the problem here is everything's in Baxter, and we're here. And then you gotta cross the major highway 371, and even as old as I am, and even as street smart as I am and riding a bike, I will not cross that freaking highway. It's not worth risking your life. Because on that intersection, that's the intersection they're gonna be tearing to pieces in 2 years. 3 years, actually, 2028. They're going to start construction on the intersection of 210 and 371. And that's how you have to get to those restaurants. So you have to go into Baxter. You have to cross the highway. Unless you're at a stoplight, but even at a stoplight, you're putting your life in your own hands, because those people at that intersection, especially the people that are taking a right or left-hand turn, they won't see you. They'll just be paying attention to their turn, and you've got the walk signal. So you try to ride across the street, you end up stopping because the people taking a left-hand turn jump ahead of you, and it's not fun crossing that highway. Either going to Walmart or actually at the other end of in Baxter, where the Paul Bunyan Amusement Center used to be, but now it's Kohl's. There's that whole area. In 3 years, it's gonna look different. 4 roundabouts. It's gonna have an overpass. That would be, being that they're making it that way, that would be a good opportunity right in that whole area. Would be a good place to put 2 or 3 restaurants. Right on the edge of 371, kind of spread them out a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Have down the line 2 or 3 good, famous restaurants, but they're all down further on 371. So we have restaurants, but I mean, we have Grizzlies, where I can go get my rack of ribs. Yummy. But again, that's all the way down to 371. And where they are at, where Grizzlies is at, I will not cross the highway there. I know. Nope. And then if you go to the stoplight's way down there. Then you literally have to be on the highway, riding your bike at 2 o'clock in the evening. It just, no. I've done it, but it's not a safe thing to do. I've almost gotten crunched a couple of times. The semis come up right behind me. It's like, hey, dude, you're on a bicycle. Get out of my way. It's like, yeah, just give me a minute. I'm going to, like, all right, fine. I jump off the road. And, no, I'd rather take a ride with somebody. That road 371 is very, very dangerous. There's, a bicyclist just got killed there about 2 weeks ago. He tried crossing the road, and a pickup came out through the light, and boom, hit him and sent him somersaulting through the air. And he came crashing down, and he died, cracked his head wide open. And that's why they tell you to wear helmets, but none of us do. And the guy got charged for hitting that bicycle because he should have stopped at that light, and he said, well, I can beat the light, so he gunned it and didn't see the bicyclist, that guy crossing the road, and just boom, hit him, sent him about 200 feet down the road, and killed him. It was an accident. The guy's not in jail for it, but he did get a ticket for disobeying the stoplight. It was turning it was turning yellow, turning to red. He should have stopped, and he didn't. He didn't take notice of that guy on the bicycle. He just thought he could beat the lights, so he gunned it and didn't see the bicyclist and hit him, sent him 200 some feet down the road, killed him. And he's still swearing up and down today that guy on the bicycle shouldn't have been there. You know, it wasn't my fault. That guy on the bicycle, he shouldn't have been there. We have every right to be on that part of the road. As long as we're on that road trying to cross it and we have the green light. Why was that guy trying to race the light? He shouldn't have been. You know, the guy was about 60, I think they said in the news, 62 years old. Guy killed by bicyclists on 371. That's the third one this year they've had already. The guy trying to cross the road, and someone either at the turn lights or at the stoplight, and they tried beating the light. And That poor sucker didn't get across the road and he got hit. Killed him instantly. I mean, he didn't live a second longer. The second he got hit, just boom, gone. Yeah, ribs. I do like ribs. They grizzlies. Okay, let's stop talking about that. I'm getting hungry. I usually get my my drink at holiday. Sparkling ice. Hello, Darren. Ghetto. Are you here? Yes, you were. Oh, that's all. Oh, so that's fine, Ghetto. I'm not worried if you get here late. This is not a classroom. You don't have to be on time. Just get here when you get here. You're not being late. I'm not like some people on the YouTube. You got to be there right at the second they start. I'm not that way. I don't care. Come in 20 minutes later, half hour later. Or if you come in like 25 minutes late, you're kind of missing everything. But it's 2:37 already. Damn, guys. I'm going to 2:40 and I'm going to hang it up. I'm going to say goodbyes, but boy, time flew. Didn't realize time had gone by that quick. And my mic is in the way, so I couldn't see the time, so now I am seeing it's 2:37. Don't know what I'm going to do today. I might get on Zoom for a while, see if anything's going on there, but if not much, then I'll get off there and probably go for a bike ride. Just to get some more exercise in. During the winter, that's the one thing I do need because I don't do as much during the cold weather, so going out and getting exercise today would be a good thing for me to do. Instead of sitting on my hind quarter all day, which I don't want to do. I don't like sitting. It's hard on my back. And I sit on anything. I don't care what I'm sitting on. My lower tailbone, my lower back starts hurting after about a half hour or so. I mean, I can sit there. I just won't complain. It's just a little bit of knobbing pain. I can feel it down there. Not enough for me to complain, but I do feel it. I don't really feel anything when I'm up walking around riding a bike. I don't feel anything. I'm sitting. Yeah, I feel it, but not bad enough for me to be complaining about it. Okay, Chris. Catch you later. See you tonight. Have fun. Be safe. Oh. So, I don't know. We had a few people here today. Not as many as I wanted, but I do thank you guys for showing up. It's been gonna be a fun day today. I don't know what you guys are gonna do, but I don't know. I've always imagined Fridays being good days, sunny and warm, and nothing going wrong on Fridays. Fridays are my days to say that Fridays are gonna be a good day. I hate Mondays, I hate Tuesdays, I hate Wednesdays. But Thursday I like a little bit. Friday, the best day of my life. Saturday, maybe. I've always, ever since I was knee high to a grasshopper, I've always loved Fridays. And I don't know why. Some people like Mondays. Why would you like a Monday? I like Fridays, so today's my good day, so I'm going to go make the best of it, and I hope that's what you guys do. Go out and have fun, or do something you enjoy. So with that, guys, I am going to say goodbye. I do thank you guys for being here today. I know some of you guys are just getting here and I'm leaving, but it's already 40 minutes. I didn't want to go that long, but I did. So, Ghetto, even though you just got here, hello. Seaman, yes, it does fly by today. My mom turned. Oh, your mom turned 80. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Ski Man. Oh, Chris, Darren, Ken. Missing a few other names in here. Robert, Chris. I missed somebody. How did I do that? Panel. You are real. Okay, I don't know what the hell you're saying there, dude, but okay. So you're not talking English. Prefer people to talk English here or just not be here. I can't understand if you're not talking in English. So if you can't talk English, go elsewhere. Please. So yeah, Ken, I'll see you in a couple of minutes if you're on Zoom. Charlie, I'll see you tonight. Chris, I'll see you tonight. And for the rest of you, I'll catch you guys later. We all have a great afternoon. I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.